this is Scott from the Exposition.com, and I'll be showing you what a HTML compressor is, how it works, and why you should be using one. Okay, HTML encode takes a lot of space. This is a simple widget that I wrote on a post that I published today, and as you can see, it takes up a lot of lines of code, and every line that it has to load adds more load time to the website. It adds more space. It's heavier. It has more content for it to load. So what it needs to do is it needs to shrink it. It needs to make a compressed version of it so that way it will load faster and thus be easier for the browser to render. Compressors work fairly simply just by removing excess items, whether it be excess items that are in there, such as useless code, whether it's extra spacing or comments that are not needed. So we're just going to compress it right now and just see what happens. It's processing this entire widget, and it says it can save me 3%. It saved 271 bytes. So I'm going to go to HTML square free, and we're just going to put this widget in, and it loads the same. The reason that this still loads the same is because the code itself is not being changed. It's all rendering still. The only difference is that it's not giving all the excess code. And the reason that you don't want to be doing this during the development stage is because it becomes very clunky and difficult to work with if you do. When it's all smushed together like this in the development stage, it's very hard to work with. You have a lot of extra items that are not necessarily needed there. In fact, if you can read any of this and if you know what it means, this was actually adapted from an earlier version of it, because there's a lot of excess items in here, like a lot of excess source that's not necessarily needed. All of this is pretty much useless. See, delicious, all those networks are pretty much worthless to you. You just gotta go in and cut them out. Like, here we go, social, subscribe. All this stuff is useless, but what it's reading it is it's using all this, but it has to shrink it. So in theory, what we can do is cut everything from here. Everything from here is technically useless because this is no longer part of the actual widget in its design. And to make sure that it still works and renders properly, all you have to do is go back to this, and one of the widgets was deleted, and that was the Twitter. So now we have to go back and we have to re-add it. But I'm lazy and we're not going to go through do all that. It's a fairly simple design concept. It just takes all the excess items out and puts in what's needed. This is a bad widget. This is adapted from it was a transitional image for social media. The images would change color, and as you can see, a lot of the items are still there. It makes a lot of CSS calls to items that it doesn't need. So a lot of this extra CSS is actually worthless. You could cut out most of it, actually. If you know how to read it, you can pretty much cut out 90% of the CSS because it's making a call to images that it doesn't need. It's simple markup. And the only reason that I even bothered to publish it was because people do not read or write. Typically, the people I see using these widgets don't know how to code them. And it's not detrimental, actually, the amount of code that this takes up. As we see, 9,668 bytes, that's like 9 kilobytes. That's not even a major thing, and it gets your follow buttons knocked out of the way. Very simple design. It can always be improved. I love it when the comments and people try to improve it. But yeah, simple idea behind HTML compression. Takes away excess code that's no longer needed, which is comments. Comments are when you go, can't even spell today. That would be a comment. It's useless. It has no point. In fact, when you go into HTML, it removes the comment. Because comments are not needed. They're basically signs from the developers that are saying, this is what this is what needs to be edited. It's basically little, like, invisible marks that tell you what needs to go where, what can be changed. Very simple. But yeah, HTML compression, very much needed. Everyone should be using HTML compression on Blogger, and tools such as WordPress come with it built in through the use of plugins like the W3 Total Cache or Cloudflare. So thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned for the next video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns relating to this, put them in the comments below, and I will address them. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.